my vlog where I talk about all the things I love about sewing. So today's video is a look back at all the things I made in the month of January, and I was quite surprised to find I've made quite a few things despite this being a bit of a tough month for everybody. I got my daffodils here today. These were from my nan's funeral. They were one of her favourite flowers, so I popped those on the table to remind me, and green was also her favourite colour. This is not a handmade jumper, unfortunately. I'm no good at knitting. This is just a shop bought one, but this shade of green was one of my nan's favourite colours, so I'm wearing it today. Plus it's freezing cold outside. It was -6 this morning on the school run, which for the UK is pretty chilly. I know it doesn't compete with other places in the world, so if you're watching from the States and you're freezing -50, they were saying, ridiculous. So stay warm and stay safe, you guys. Anyway, so January started off on a bit of a low. I really thought I would have lost my sojo, but I really find sewing is therapeutic, and when I'm feeling a bit stressed out, the best thing to do is to lose myself in a sewing project. So I have sewn quite a few things. I started off the month really wanting to finish any works in progress or any bits and pieces that were sat on my sewing desk that really needed to be finished. So I repaired a few garments, I put a zip in a skirt, which I'll show you in a minute, and I also this one is nearly finished, and I thought, well, if I don't show you today, I'll forget to show you next time. Oh, the cat's just wandered in as well, so if you can hear a jingly jangly bell, it'll be Jinx. Are you coming to say hello? So the first thing I tried to finish off was this Hummingbird embroidery. So you can see it's almost there. I've just got the head and the eye to go, and I think I might do something to fill in these bits of the wings here because it looks a bit bare on the wings. This is actually a kit which is called Hawthorne Handmade by Stephanie Carswell, and I'll put the details in the drop down box. I picked this up from the Handmade Fair at Bowood. So yeah, and we did an embroidery class of my friend and I brought this home sort of like literally, you know, not even half finished. So it's been sat in my drawer, and I really wanted to finish it off. And the kids are squabbling over who's going to get to keep it, but I don't really know what to do with it. I might put it in the middle of a cushion, perhaps. I practiced lots of different stitches on this, if you can see here. So I've done lots of French knots here. There's some satin stitch and other bits. So yeah, that was a good start, and I will hopefully finish that in the next couple of days, and that one will be done. I had to mend a couple of hems on bits and pieces, and also I will show you this skirt. So I really hope you guys can hear me properly today. I've tried really hard to bring the camera a bit closer to me and talk up a bit so that you don't have trouble with the volume, because I know one or two people have difficulty hearing me. So yeah, I'm hoping you can hear this okay. So this skirt is made from I don't suppose you'd call this petrol blue, maybe? Petrol blue corduroy, which I got from Fabricland, which is my local fabric shop. And I made this quite some time ago. It's an A-line skirt, and it's called the Delphine Skirt, and it comes from the book by Tilly and the Buttons. So I've got the book down here. I'll just pop and get it so you can see the picture. So this is the book. It's called Love at First Stitch. You may have already seen this. And the Delphine skirt is a nice A-line, sort of simple with skirt with a deep waistband. And it was one of the first sort of skirts I made, really. But it calls for an invisible zip. And with corduroy, invisible zips are tricky, especially if you buy inexpensive invisible zip, and that's what happened to me. The zip got stuck as it goes up through the waistband and then broke, and I couldn't wear it anymore. So I have replaced the zip in this skirt. It's not too invisible at the top, unfortunately, but yeah, I think an ordinary zip might be better when you're making a skirt with a heavy corduroy type fabric. But I really love wearing this skirt. I modified it ever so slightly because it was a bit too A-line for me, so I took the sides in just a tiny bit, and yeah, it's just a nice plain skirt for the winter. And I will insert some twirls of me wearing it so that you can see what it looks like in real life. And if I just stand up for you now, you can see some of the details. So it's got a nice big chunky waistband, which I think is quite flattering when you've got a big waistband like this. And it feels really nice and snug and secure and comfortable. So here is the not so invisible zip. I probably could have done a better job on that, putting it in, but I usually wear it with a nice chunky sweater anyway, so that covers most of the zip. I don't know if you can see, can't quite see, if I stand on my chair here, try not to break my leg, you can see it's actually quite an A-line shape. But like I said, with all of the things I've made, I will try and insert some better photos or twirls of me wearing them so you can see them a bit more closely. But yeah, I was really pleased to get this skirt finished and mended because it was sat in my wardrobe, not doing anything, not being worn, all because the zip had gone. So I'm really pleased to have fixed that. So the next thing I made, I think I'm going to start with my most, my proudest make. So, if you watched my last video, you'll know that I have decided to do something slightly different to Make 9 this year. I'm doing Make 9 out of my fabric stash, and I had all the ingredients to make a fox duffel coat for my son. And it's something I've wanted to do for years and never really gotten around to it. And I was starting to panic that they were all getting too old to want to wear character clothes. So I really knew that this kind of might be my last year to do it. So I got on and made this fox coat, and I'm so pleased with it, I can't tell you. So I will show you guys, anyone that's watched me regularly will know I really love this book. It's called The Fox, the Bear and the Bunny. And unfortunately the patterns in this book only go up to, I think, an age 5. So my son is 5, and I thought, you know, if I don't make this now, it's never going to get done. So I'll show you a picture from the book. Obviously there's the coat on the front cover there. Really nice, straightforward. So this is a simple book. It's not a complicated pattern. If you can sew in a straight line, you can make this coat, but you just need to take it steady and do it in stages. The hardest part is figuring out which bit goes where, but if you look at the, because there's no notches or anything on any of the patterns, it's really basic pattern pieces. So yeah, there's, for example, the poppers caused me a bit of trouble because there's no markings to say where the poppers ought to go, so you kind of have to sort of make that up as you go along. Also with the toggles, you have to sort of do that by eye. But if you, like I say, if you can sew in a straight line, there's nothing complicated about this coat. It just takes some time to do. So there's a picture of it there. So here's my version. I can't wait to show you. I'm so pleased with this coat. I can't tell you. Look at that. Oh, there's such a sense of achievement you get with making a coat. I obviously made the black cat one. If you go back on my videos, you'll see that I made my daughter a black one, but it was much harder to see the details because it was black fabric. So I'm really pleased to be able to show you in this sort of lovely browny coloured soft corduroy. I've used a fake fur here. The cat's back in, so if you hear jingling again, that's what that noise is. There are these fake sort of, I don't know what you call those. They're almost like a placket, I suppose, but they are stitched down, so they serve no purpose other than to be decorative. And then I've put some cute ears on the top here, using some pleather or vinyl or fake leather or whatever it's called. Inside is lined with a fleece, so it's lovely and warm. And then it's got 2 patch pockets on the front which are also lined with the same fleece, so they're nice and warm inside. My son's been wearing this every day to school. He really loves it. And I've obviously got the toggles on the front there. These toggles came from Minerva Crafts, I think. And they're sort of like a wood effect plastic toggle, and I really like the shape of these toggles. So the coat fixes with poppers, which I got gold coloured ones also from Minerva Crafts, I think. It was a while ago that I ordered them. I really loved putting all the colours together for this coat. So you can see it's fully lined on the inside, and the sleeves I lined with this nice sort of slippery lining fabric so that he can get his arms in and out easily. I put my little So Pretty Kitty name tag there. My nail varnish is rubbish, by the way, I've just noticed. Look at that. Oof. Do forgive me for that. And then, yeah, he can hang his coat up on that hook as well. So I am so pleased with this coat. I can't tell you. I've had lots of compliments. There's nothing better than making something and everyone says, wow, did you make that? It makes you feel really, it gives you a really good sense of like pride, and yeah, it boosts your self-esteem, and you think, yes, excellent, I made this with my hands. I made this, a coat for my son, and he can wear that to school, and that is just the most amazing feeling ever. So if you fancy having a go at this coat, I'd say go ahead. Even if you've only got basic sewing skills, bear in mind that the process of cutting the pieces out takes ages, absolutely ages. I think it took me a good hour and a half to cut all the pieces out. The cat making noise. But yeah, and the sewing up, probably a good 2 days, I would say, on and off. I've got fluff floating around now because the hair's come off the front of this jacket. But it's well worth all the effort, definitely. Let me just pop that cat outside because she's going to get annoying in a minute. Hang on a minute. Sorry about the interruption. I've shut her into the living room now. On the back of this coat, we've got a nice furry tail. He was really keen to have a tail. And yeah, he just was really excited to wear it, pretend to be a fox. It's just sparked his imagination. And I am so pleased now that I've made my younger 2 children a really nice coat that hopefully will turn into a bit of an heirloom. Maybe my nephew will get to wear it, maybe my grandchildren one day, you never know. So yeah, I'm going to try and pop a little picture, because those of you that follow me on Instagram will have seen this coat already. I took a nice picture of it on a hanger, so I will insert that into the video. So after the success of my coat, I moved on for some leggings. So this is another one of my Make 9. So that's 2 of my Make 9 fabric stash fabrics crossed off, which makes you feel good at the beginning of the year. I just hope I can keep the momentum going. I mentioned this pattern before. This is a Simplicity pattern 1435, and I was kind of hoping to make the dress, but like I said in my previous video, the fabric that I had in mind had a directional print, and this is a circle skirt, so it really wouldn't have worked. So what I've decided to do is to make a pair of leggings out of that fabric, and I still have a little bit left to make maybe a t-shirt or something as well. So let me just reach across and grab that. So these leggings have been worn plenty of times already. This fabric has got hedgehogs and birds and trees and mushrooms, and yeah, I really like this fabric. It's an organic cotton jersey which I got in the sale from myfabrics.co.uk, I think maybe last year, and I've been meaning to make it up for a long time, so I'm glad I finally made it into something really cute. So it's got a waistband. Now I finished my waistbands using the overlocker to seal the edge, and I know jersey doesn't fray, but I don't really like raw edges on garments. I think it looks kind of messy. And I folded the fabric down to make a channel, and then there's some nice elastic in there. In order to stop it from twisting, I usually run a line of stitches just in the front and the back along that seam there, so that they're invisible, just to anchor the elastic down and stop the elastic from twisting round and round. So this pattern I had to modify because my daughter is like a bean pole. She's thin and quite tall and long-legged. So you can see the waist is quite small in relation to the length of the legs. And actually, even still, these are kind of a tiny bit baggy, but that's good because she's got some growing room. So if you guys are interested on how you grade between patterns, I can do a separate video about that if you would like. So just pop a comment below and I will try and record something to explain how I used her hip measurement to grade between, I think the waist and hip on these leggings was an age 5, but I made it obviously fit her inside leg. So I tailored the pattern, so I have now got a pattern that I can use over and over again. And leggings really are sort of simple and easy to make, so if you haven't made a pair of children's leggings, just go for it, especially if you've got an overlocker. It takes minutes to zip it up. The worst part, actually, the longest part, is the hemming. So I've used my twin needle again on the hem. So that's the children's makes out the way for January. So then I moved on to something for myself, and I obviously I've mentioned that it was Nan's funeral just recently, and we decided we would all wear something green to remember her, and I just needed a pair of smart black trousers really, because I didn't have any in my wardrobe. And I used this book, which I have talked about once before, I think. This is Sewing with Knitted Fabric by Wendy Ward. And there's a couple of really nice patterns in here that I wanted to give a try. And so these trousers are called the Derwent trousers. I'll just find a picture. Here we go. So you can see here, they are Pontorama or some other sort of heavy knit fabric, wide leg trousers, and you can make several different lengths, but I wanted the full length really for the funeral to wear with my green cardigan that I'd chosen. So I've made a black pair, and these are awesome trousers. I've made 2 pairs this month, which I'll show you the other pair in a minute, but it's so simple and straightforward. You literally have 2 pattern pieces. I'll show you here. So yeah, front and back trouser leg. It's finished with an elastic facing on the waist. So nothing complicated about that. I had never done that before, and actually it's a really nice way to finish a pair of sort of stretchy trousers. They almost feel like jogging bottoms. They're so comfortable, but they look really smart. And I think the best thing for me to do is to record a twirl again, because I don't think I'm ever going to get far enough away from this camera sitting here for you to see the full length. So I will insert a clip of that now. So just so you can see some of the details on these trousers, and they're black, so it's kind of hard to see, but I will try and show you. They've got a few dog hairs on as well, I noticed as I held them up. So they've got really nice wide leg. This is a black Pontorama, which I got from my local fabric land. It's really inexpensive fabric. I think it was about $4.99 a metre. The waistband I bought the wrong size elastic for, so I think I bought 1.5 inch elastic for this pair. And actually, out of the 2 pairs, I prefer the slightly less deep elastic on the waistband. For some reason, it just seems to fit my waist a bit better. And yeah, I mean, what can you say? Just a nice, comfortable, simple pair of black trousers, which I can wear with flats to work, or smart occasions. And I really just want to make all the pairs now because they're so comfy. The only downside is they don't have any pockets, but I can live with that when it's got an elasticated waist. And I just think they're really flattering. So I went on and made a second pair. So in my last video, or maybe the one before, I talked about this sort of khaki green scuba that my husband had bought me for Christmas, and I wasn't really sure what to do with it, whether to make a dress or what to do. and I've been looking on Pinterest for inspiration for different outfits and stuff, and I really like the culottes that are around at the moment, so I thought I would make these Derwent trousers into a pair of culottes and give that a try. So again, I will insert a picture or a twirl of me wearing those now. So here they are as a close-up look, okay? They are exactly the same as the black ones, only I've cropped them to hit just between my knee and my ankle, and getting that length right was kind of difficult because if they're too long, that you kind of look a bit dumpy. If they're too short, they sort of look like a pair of weird shorts. So getting culotte length right is quite tricky, and they definitely look better with a pair of heeled boots. Flat shoes and culottes, I don't think I can pull that look off. So yeah, this has got wider elastic, as you can see. I'll show you here. So this is the much wider, the 3-inch elastic, which the pattern calls for in the book. But I don't find these quite as comfortable around my waist as the black pair, and I think maybe the elastic is just a bit deep for my waist, so I think the next pair I make I will go for the not so deep elastic. So all I've done with these is I've made a little tiny tacking hand stitch in the front and in the back, just to keep the elastic from folding up, because it's a facing, so you literally pop it on the outside of your trousers and then overlock right the way around and turn it inwards, and it's as simple as that, really. This scuba I think looks really nice. It's not one of my colours I normally wear, but I think it looks lovely with a navy blue and boots, like I said. And I'm not sure if I am a lover of scuba. I think the feel of it is kind of a bit synthetic, and I was worried that they might look a bit shiny, but actually when they're on, they look quite smart, I think. So yeah, I think I will stick to Ponte for any other versions that I make, but I'm really pleased with these. And if you haven't made a pair of these trousers yet, I can highly recommend this pattern. It fits me perfectly, straight off the pattern pieces, and yeah, it's super comfy. So big thumbs up, Wendy Ward. Love the Derwents. So I'm just checking my list here just to make sure I've covered everything, because I made quite a lot of things this month, and I think that's all of them. Thanks so much for joining me today. I really hope you can hear me well, and if you want to follow me on Instagram, I will pop my handle down here. Obviously sometimes I put more recent updates on there when I finish bits and pieces of projects, so you can catch photographs and things on Instagram. And if you like my videos, please subscribe and give me a thumbs up. It makes me happy, and yeah, brilliant. See you next time, everybody. Bye.